Welcome to Don't Quote Me on That. One day we will have an intro, but today is not that day. Hello, and welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That. You'll notice two things with this episode. One, I am still sick, and two, I am alone. I have a little bit better of a voice this time around, but it's not great. And also, as always, my dogs know that I'm filming. I guess not filming, I guess it's just recording. Anyway, they know what I'm doing, and so they have taken now to bark their heads off, and I promise you that will come back, don't you worry. But today, I am going to talk for until I run out of words, which honestly probably be about 15 minutes. Also, sorry if I trail off. I do usually do this with Kalina, who is my co-host, which you probably know, and it doesn't seem to click that like when I do this alone, she's not gonna jump in to talk because she's not there. So if I'm a little spacey or if there are long pauses, that is why. I will do my best to edit them out and try to do even better to not do them to begin with, but we all know that that is not going to happen. So sorry if this sounds a little jumpy, and sorry to our editor. I should disclose that our editor is just me, and then it's also Kalina. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about something that I feel very strongly about, and honestly, I just need to talk to somebody about this because I don't know. And I'm not gonna make as many disclaimers as I think I usually do, mostly because I am not confident that I'm right, which sounds awful. Sorry, I'm also gonna sound awful, both like physically awful, but also intellectually awful, theoretically awful. Anyway, just before we get this, the title is going to be fairly vague. What we're going to talk about today is that we all need to care less about celebrities' lives. And I'm going to kind of focus this on I'm going to focus on two main examples just because those are the ones that I know the most about, but I know that this is not the only time that it has happened. One of them is honestly, it's kind of old news at this point. Another one is fairly recent. And the main example I'm going to use, the most recent one, is Taylor Swift breaking up with her boyfriend. Or him breaking up with her, whatever, I don't know. The end of their relationship and how the fandom is being super duper weird about it. Not the whole fandom, but like certain subsections, subgroups? Yeah. Subgroups of the fandom are being very weird about it, and how it kind of evokes similar, it's very similar to something else that happened in a different fandom that I was a part of, and that is the One Direction fandom. This is going to be me saying the word fandom 7 times a sentence, and I apologize for that. But to start, I'll just give a little bit of my background. First of all, I'm a Swiftie. I'm a self-hating Swiftie. Mostly not self-hating, I'm a Swiftie-hating Swiftie. Sorry, I am not a Gaylor by any means, and I'll be honest, I'm a Gaylor hater. I'm also a current active One Direction fan. And I'm also basically, I'm a part of every single group that I'm talking about here. Like, identity-wise, I'm not a Gaylor, I'm not a Larry Truther, but like, I am a Taylor Swift fan, and I am gay, and I am a One Direction fan, and also I have 2 degrees in media theory, and I literally wrote one of my theses on One Direction and on fandom, so I have a little bit of knowledge. I have been entrenched in this for over a decade. So, here we go. To start, I think that being a singer or being an actor or even being an author, Actually, no, I'm sorry. I think being a singer is kind of a difficult place to be in Hollywood, because when you are an actor, everything you do, not everything, but for the most part, you are just telling stories, and it is understood by everyone that in your artistic work, you are telling stories. When you are in a play, unless you wrote that play as a self-insert, you are just becoming a character. There might be, parallels between yourself and the character that you can pull from to give a better performance, but like face value, you are embodying a character. When you are an author, this one, but for the most part, you are writing a story about characters. Again, I think with authors and singers, the lines between characters and real life can become a little bit blurred, but honestly, I'm sorry that I even brought up authors, because I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to authors. So we're just going to forget that. We're going to go singers and actors. Sorry. Yeah. So when you're an actor, you're embodying characters. When you are a singer, sometimes you are writing, sometimes you're not even writing your own songs, but when you're a singer-songwriter, I think everybody has a tendency to write about their own lives, which, kind of. And I think when it comes to Taylor Swift in particular, she has a long history of writing very autobiographical songs. And I think in some ways that kind of contributes to all of this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I'm a big fan of her songs. I think she's a very good writer. I think she kind of is able to convey emotion in a way that is kind of very unique to her, and also just very good, very, very strong, very poignant, whatever. But I think she's almost been a little bit too autobiographical. And I don't mean that in like a oh my god, she only writes about breakups, or oh, every song is just about blood. I don't mean it in that sort of way. I just think that it almost makes fans think that they know too much about her. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's one thing. And I think another thing is, if you are kind of anywhere near the Taylor Swift fandom, you might be aware that a big thing is Easter eggs, or hints that Taylor Swift puts in social media posts, songs, music videos, tour outfits, things like that kind of build to big things. And I'm sorry, I don't have any big examples of them. Well, here we go. In the Eras tour, for the shirt she wears for, oh my god, I want to say it's when she sings 22. It says not a lot going on at the moment. Different letters have been different colors throughout the entire tour. And fans think that is hinting at when she will release the Speak Now album. And a lot of the things that fans have thought have been Easter eggs have turned out to be Easter eggs, okay? And Taylor Swift herself has admitted that she is putting these hints into things to get the fans to talk and to get them to, put the pieces together. So, I mean, she has a history of encoding these things. A history of encoding these things that fans then decode. I think that I'm going to stop saying a certain gaylers, okay? Self-proclaimed gaylers, who are the subgroup of the fandom who think that Taylor Swift is either a lesbian, bisexual, queer in some way. Well, not everybody who thinks that, but the people who dedicate, that's a big portion why they like Taylor Swift, okay? That's kind of who I'm talking about when I talk about gaylers. The people who make it maybe their online identity. I think that okay, and also to be fair, straight fans or fans who think Taylor is straight, they do this as well. But I think just because most of what I'm seeing is coming from the gaylers, if you will, they just read a little bit too into everything. Yeah, everything. And I just have a problem with them picking apart songs or posts or outfits or what have you to push their belief that Taylor Swift is gay. Not necessarily that she is gay, but like, because I think about this in two ways, or I have two thoughts about this, and I'm going to say the first one first. The first thing is that a lot of these fans are themselves lesbians or gay or members of the queer community in some way. And I think this because I used to think this as well, that they are just searching for representation in some way. And because they can relate to a lot of what Taylor Swift says, or because they are kind of putting their own meaning into what Taylor Swift is putting out, they're making these parallels, and it's not their fault. Everybody deserves a community. Everybody deserves to feel safe. Everybody deserves to, kind of see themselves represented on television or in any form of media in a positive way. Okay, that can be true. And it also can be true that it's a little bit harmful to push parts of your identity on somebody else. Like, it's one thing to be gay and be a Taylor Swift fan. It is another thing to be gay and be a Taylor Swift fan and believe that she is gay and telling you that in riddles and in hints. And it's just, I think it can damage everybody involved in some way. I don't know in what ways, but I do think it's not a great kind of road to go down. That's kind of one way that I think about it. The other thing that I always think about with this is, why are you so... what is the perfect outcome here? Say Taylor Swift is a lesbian and she comes out. And it's just, why do you want your favorite celebrity to have been, I don't want to say lying, but what does Taylor Swift gain by... Well, no, I'm not quite sure how to word this, because obviously, and it is unfortunate, and it is hopefully not the way things will be forever. But if Taylor Swift was a lesbian and did come out as being a lesbian, she would face hate. She would lose fans. She would likely lose success. That is unfortunately true. But it's also there are definitely out singers. There's Hayley Kiyoko. Hayley Kiyoko, Fletcher, Peach PRC. Their songs are, they're obviously not Taylor Swift, but kind of, they're out lesbian singers. What is wrong with finding a community there? Why does it have to be attached to Taylor Swift? Why does it have to be attached to Taylor Swift, who only is giving you, even, in your wildest dreams, bits and pieces of the story through things that are under layers and layers and layers of Easter eggs? Surely it would be better for everybody, and by everybody I mean kind of those members of the fandom, to build a community within somebody who is out, and then be a casual enjoyer of Taylor Swift. It just seems a little bit, I don't know. Taylor Swift has been in the industry for, 15, 20 years. And she is a grown-ass woman. And if she's not going to tell us things about her personal life, which she does not really do, why do you think that she will one day wake up and be like, oh yes, by the way, I am gay? What does she gain by I feel like I'm saying this all wrong, but it's I don't understand why you are, well, I do understand. That's the hard part. I understand why you are so invested. I truly do. I understand why you want to build a community of people who like the things you like around somebody who you think is like you, or who honestly might be like you. Who knows? But you're really not setting yourself up for success if you are investing all of this energy into, I know Taylor Swift is a lesbian because in this one shot of a picture it looks like she has short nails, or this one line is how I felt about my first girlfriend. I mean, there are some people who think that she and Carly Kloss were like genuinely married. And it is just as weird as the people who thought that she and Joe Alwyn were genuinely married. And both sides of that coin think the other people are bizarre and reading too much into things and, thinking of Taylor in a way that Taylor does not want to be thought of. And it's like, surely you guys understand that you're doing the same thing. If it's not right to do one thing, it is not right to do the same thing, but with a boy or with a girl, however it might be. And it's just like, calm down. If you feel safe in a fandom and you want to feel safe in the fandom of a lesbian singer, find a lesbian singer whose music you like, whose fandom you can feel safe in. You don't need to be making up a lesbian singer to feel safe in. You can be a Taylor Swift enjoyer and realize that you are not going to find everything you want out of fandom from her. And it's also like, stop being so invested, okay? The same thing happened with One Direction, where, well, not exactly the same thing, there were a lot more layers to this, but like, people are so invested in the idea that Harry and Louis were dating, that Harry and Louis can no longer have a normal relationship. Okay? And I just feel like being scrutinized by your fans for anything in particular will not make the actor, singer, celebrity, whatever, want to be honest about that. Okay? Just, I don't know. Maybe not honest is right, but like be open about it. If they know that no matter what they say, they're going to be questioned, they might as well just not say anything. Okay? They might as well just leave people guessing. And it's also just like weird. It's one thing to be half obsessed with or like check out people you went to school with and people that you knew on a personal level. And it's like, oh my goodness, so-and-so from high school is now dating so-and-so from high school. That's crazy. I never would have put them together. That's one thing. You know what these people are like. You have hopefully met these people in person. To do it to a celebrity that you know nothing about, it's just, you are not gaining anything. Like, if it's a reality TV show and they are putting those things out for you, or a relationship TikToker, or a mommy vloggers are a bad example, but like a celebrity whose whole kind of fame centers around their personal life, centers around those sort of things, that's one thing. They are giving you those details. They are willingly, freely sharing those things online or on TV, what have you, to be talked about. That is why they get their buzz. If that is not why or how they get their buzz or get their fame, their notoriety, then it's weird to seek that out. I don't know. And I'm definitely guilty of this, okay? I think everybody is to some degree. I think everybody is curious. Everybody is a little bit gossipy. If there's a big celebrity breakup, sure, I'm like, oh my goodness, I wonder what happened, or da-da-da-da. I don't center my entire involvement around the celebrity, or involvement with the celebrity around the relationship status. I don't listen to a Taylor Swift song and immediately go, oh my god, it must be about da-da-da-da. Okay? Because that's just weird. I don't know. This is my least coherent episode, which is awful because this is something like I have very strong feelings about, obviously, but it's like, I just don't understand, because all that pushing your own theories, but it's also like, okay, it's one thing to do it in like a group chat or to do it on private Twitter accounts. It's another thing to do it publicly, where everybody can see, where, Taylor Swift herself could see. it's just hard, because what if she is in the closet and she sees that and she's like, instead of saying, or instead of thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that these fans support me, he's like, oh my goodness, they know, they've figured it out. I have to go into hiding even more. Because if she is queer in some way and she has not already come out, there is a reason for that. Sure, maybe the reason is, like a lot of people thought with One Direction, her management, her label, what have you. Maybe there's a contract in place. It has happened. I'm not saying that it has not happened. It has happened where a singer actor's management has not wanted them to be gay because they would lose out on some of their popularity. Whatever the reason, seeing that people do think she's gay, whether they've guessed it, if they have in this scenario guessed it correctly, could make her, stop dropping these hints, or stop, even if, I'm sure they're probably not, like, on purpose hints, but, like, stop doing these things and stop being, so open. And she's already not incredibly open about her personal life with the fandom, like, on purpose. So it's like, this would reduce the small amount of access that is already there. Do you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's not something that's casual to be throwing around. Like, I'll share what kind of spearheaded this. It wasn't even the breakup. I saw a shirt that a Swiftie was selling that said, "Picture me fingers deep in your ex-wife," which is a spin-off, or according to the person who makes this shirt, the way that they originally misheard the lyric, "Picture me thick as thieves with your ex-wife." And sure, that's funny. Putting it on a shirt alone, just the words, would be a little bit funny. Okay, I admit it. But she put it on a shirt, or I'm sorry, I do not remember. They put it on a shirt next to a picture or an outline of Taylor Swift. Don't do that. Don't put Taylor Swift's face next to that. That is not what she said. That was not the intention of the lyric. That is weird. That would be weird to put anybody next to it, unless that was the actual lyric. To kind of intensely sexualize something like that in a way that it was not, meant to be, and then to put a public figure's face next to it. Weird. Okay? Hopefully nobody is out here making shirts that say, "Picture me deep as balls in your husband," and then putting a picture of Obama next to it. Okay? Because that would be weird. That would not be okay to do. It is not okay to do just because you think Taylor Swift is lesbian. And I really hope I'm not coming off as anti-lesbian. I am not. I know that lesbians in particular face a lot of vitriol in a very specific way, a way that is a lot different to how other members of the queer community face vitriol, okay? Every lesbian deserves to feel safe and feel like they're part of a community, and deserves to be surrounded by people who love them and care for them, and they deserve to have art that speaks to them and celebrities that represent them. But those celebrities exist. Those communities, usually, for the most part, at least online, exist. Okay? You do not need to make one up. You do not need to convince, I don't know, not convince yourself, but like, it's just, if you want to be a stan of a lesbian singer, then find a lesbian singer whose work you enjoy. Okay, you don't need to make it your whole online persona to be talking about how Taylor Swift is a lesbian, or talking about how Taylor Swift is something that Taylor Swift has not confirmed herself to be. On the flip side, I want to make it clear that it's also weird that people are like, even straight fans or fans who think Taylor Swift is straight, or who kind of just, I don't even know how to say that, who believe everything she has said about her own personal life. I don't know, because she's never, to my knowledge, come out and said that she was straight. She's also never come out and said that she was anything else. But, like, publicly, she has only ever, like, officially confirmed dated men. So people who are going along with that and think she is straight, who are, like, weirdly invested, I don't know, it's just weird, and we need to care less. Because really, truly, genuinely, Taylor Swift being a lesbian or not does not impact her music. You being a lesbian, or you being a member of the queer community, or you being straight, might impact how you feel about her music, or how her music relates to you, and that is perfectly fine. Okay? You can, like, her art is yours, I believe, for really the most part. Maybe not like a legitimate autobiography that somebody wrote. When someone puts art out into the world, it is no longer theirs for the most part. I mean, there are some songs like Ronin, or Forever Winter, or Soon You'll Get Better. And maybe not Soon You'll Get Better, but Ronin. We'll just stick with Ronin. There are some songs like Ronin that are like those, that they are about what they are about because Taylor Swift said this is what they are about. Okay? But to my knowledge, in her discography, there are not a huge heck of a lot of songs that are about that. Okay? A lot of her songs are about, the feeling of, or da-da-da-da. Not about this boy you get what I'm saying. She does not have a whole lot of songs that are about, like, self-described about this one thing. Please do not change the meaning because it is about this one thing. Okay, a lot of her songs are open-ended, and a lot of her songs are the fandoms to take and apply to their lives, their relationships, romantic or not, how they wish. How your identity can definitely impact how you receive and decode the song. How you decode the song does not mean that is how Taylor Swift meant for the song to be encoded, okay? Taylor Swift could have been writing about how much she loves her cats, or how much she loves, I don't know, going to the hairdresser, whatever. That you might listen to the same song that she wrote with her cat in mind and say, oh my goodness, this is me and my boyfriend. Oh my goodness, this is me and my best friend. This is me and my 3 girlfriends. Whatever. And I think you need to understand, and by you I mean some people, need to understand that just because that is what you get out of it is not what she put into it. Okay, and you just need to understand that and just let that be true. You can still, be a member of Lesbian Stands of Taylor Swift. I know there's no group named that, and I'm sorry. But, like, that can be your identity, and you can be a Taylor Swift fan. But you can be that without having the idea that Taylor Swift is that as well. Or you can have that idea, but have it quietly. We don't need to be making signs about it at concerts. We don't need to be making merch that says Taylor Swift, my favorite lesbian. There's not been merch about that, but, like, the finger sleep in your ex-wife merch is weird. You can wear Taylor Swift-themed things with, her pro-gay lyrics, because there are some, and she is, maybe not obviously, but she is, an out, well, yeah, obviously, because she's been very clear about it. Member or not, she is very supportive of the LGBTQ community. And I don't know. Okay? It's just, it seems weird to me that I'm saying we, like, I'm part of this. You don't need to get that invested. She is a stranger to you. Whether she is a lesbian or not, even if she does come out as a lesbian, she will remain a stranger to you. She is not going to come out as a lesbian and then immediately tag at Taylor Swift is my king 3435 and say, thank you so much for giving me the courage to come out. That's not going to happen. If she has not come out, it is for a reason, and it probably will not change. The reason is definitely not because too few people on Twitter think she's gay, okay? We need to give her that space to just be whoever it is that she is. And also, don't be weird about it, because that's how you ruin a fandom. See, One Direction. See, I'm sure some K-pop fandoms are like that as well, because a lot of the Larry believers went on to K-pop, okay? I don't know. All celebrities we need to care less about. We need to care about the people who are actually genuinely, truly in our lives. But Taylor Swift especially, I just see it a lot, and it's just weird. Okay? I don't know. I don't think any gaylers are going to listen to this, but if you do, just stop being weird. It's fine to think these things. It's fine. Well, honestly, it's not really fine to believe in your heart of hearts that Taylor Swift is a lesbian, because I think you should just believe what she has publicly stated. What she has publicly stated, to be fair, to my knowledge, is not anything either which way. But we don't need to be projecting identities onto people. If it is really important to you that your favorite singer is a lesbian, then find a lesbian who can be your favorite singer. Don't do it the other way around, and just make a lesbian your favorite singer. Don't make your favorite singer a lesbian. Okay? Sorry for not being coherent at all. I think next week Kalina will be back and being more coherent. Maybe we'll actually record together again. Thank you. Good night.
Thanks for listening. Don't quote me on that. One day we'll have an outro, but it's not today.